I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya.
I guarantee if we don't do this, it will cause irreparable harm to our city.
And Bunnell City Commissioner Jan Rieger is making good on her word that she'll try to have City Manager Alvin Jackson removed from his position. She plans to bring the issue up again at tonight's City Commission meeting after her prior attempt failed. Rieger was a fan of Jackson's when he was hired, but she's since lodged claims of financial and communication problems, though hasn't provided any evidence to back them up. Jackson tells WNZF he didn't get any solid answers from Rieger on why she's pushing for his termination.
As far as I'm concerned, a good relationship with her. And I mean, she comes in and she's very pleasant. So, my opinion about her hasn't changed. So she is one of my bosses and I respect her as a commissioner.
He says he's focused on moving the city forward.
We're going to stay focused on the board's strategic priorities, economic development, infrastructure improvements, creating a dynamic staff. So until something else changes, that's the direction we're moving in.
The commission meets at 7 o'clock tonight.
This portion of Flagler's Morning News brought to you by the Daytona Beach International Airport, Delta Airlines nonstop to Atlanta, and now nonstop service to New York City via American Airlines.
A Bunnell man is heading back to prison after deputies say he fled a traffic stop. Police pulled over 24-year-old Brian Bucco after they say he was traveling 80 miles per hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone on State Road 100 in Bunnell Thursday. He fled deputies who had to use a stop stick to bring his white pickup truck to arrest. That's when police say Bucco fled on foot into some nearby woods. A sheriff's office canine caught up with him and bit him in the leg. That got him to stop. Deputies say Bucco told them he didn't stop because he had a gun clip in the car, which he's prohibited from possessing due to being a convicted felon. Inside that vehicle, deputies say they found a loaded pistol and drugs. Bucco was taken to the hospital for treatment before being charged with possession of a gun by a convicted felon, fleeing and eluding, reckless driving, and pot possession. Bucco was arrested last year on charges of domestic battery. The new head of the Flagler Chamber of Commerce is looking to grow the organization into the future. John R. King has the story.
Amy Stafford has been named as the new president and CEO for the Chamber following a long-term stint with the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, where she held the position of Senior Vice President of Administration the past 14 years. In that capacity, Stafford was responsible for the daily operations of a $10 million organization with a staff of 40 and a board of more than 60 individuals. In her new role, she is thinking about growth opportunities.
Chambers of the future are going to look much different than they do now. People don't just join to join a civic community anymore. There needs to be some relevancy. And from my perspective, I really think that the Flagler Chamber can be a lot bigger than it is and maybe have some more influence in the community on change that is needed. So I don't know what that is yet. I'm going to be listening very carefully to all parties for at least the next 90 days before we really dig in. But I'm looking at a new strategic plan, a new direction, and seeing how quickly we can get there. So stay tuned.
Stafford began her new role as president and CEO of the Flagler Chamber of Commerce last week. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John R.
The Palm Coast Fire Department does not want its green wreaths turning red.
Palm Coast Fire Chief Jerry Forte says that each of the fire stations in Palm Coast has a very large wreath on it, and those wreaths have green lights on them for a reason.
Every time we have a fire, a structure fire that affects a house, we change a green bulb to red. And our goal is not to have any red on any of the wreaths. Forte said that education is the key to stopping fires during the holidays and throughout the year. To hear the whole interview, go to the Flagler Radio app and find the Free for All Friday podcast. That's where you'll hear about the Green Wreath program. Tomorrow, Christmas trees. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.